Well, in today's tactic, we are back to the funky shapes and back to names I have no idea what to do with. Let's just jump in and see what happens. This one is called the 41131 to 3241 Dynamic Tiki-Taka Overload. Now, the person who created it has a nice description in there, a nice set of screenshots and everything. Basically, he says, my tactic isn't just about getting results. I focus more on dominating the game, for example, possession and shots, and making sure the build-up play looks aesthetically pleasing. Of course, getting good results is a nice bonus too. Again, there's a much longer description in there for you to take a look at. From my weak eyes and on the page I got this from, it looks like he might be using FC Cologne. However, it looks like he's got Messi and Ronaldo in the team, so maybe he's picked up a couple people afterwards. I don't know. But in this tactic, he seems to have done fairly well. A lot of greens, a couple of reds here and there. I don't see a final positioning, but we are going to check it out with our three teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town. So with that, let's just dive into the Premier League and see how our teams did. Well, now, first off, keep in mind that this looks like it was created for this team that he created himself. So if he took FC Cologne and then rebuilt it to shape up how he wants it to be. So throwing it into a team like Liverpool and Aston Villa, probably Ipswich Town, may not fully work. But in this case, fourth and fifth place, it worked to a degree, but not quite as much as we wanted. 64 goals is low. 73 for Aston Villa is actually not bad. But overall, But now looking at this, Liverpool do make it all the way to the Carabao Cup final, getting through Aston Villa along the way. But they get to the final, a 2-1 win over Manchester City. However, they get to the semi-finals of the FA Cup, losing in extra time against Arsenal. Unfortunately, they're only able to get as far as Brighton in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, losing out 1-2 away from home and a 0-0 draw at home. That's tough. To sum it up, they won the Carabao Cup, which is fantastic. I mean, the semifinals of the FA Cup, quarterfinals of the Europa League, they're not bad, but you still want something more. Fourth place of the Premier League, definitely wish they had gotten a little bit out of that. Squad-wise, yeah, they do not have the green to show for it. I mean, they got some, I guess, but 21 goals for Nunez, 18 for Jota, assists, 12 for Szoboszlai, 10 for McAllister. That's really not a lot there. Average rating, of course, Salah with a 713, which is probably one of the lowest we've ever seen from him. But only 18 appearances starting. 41 for Szoboszlai with a 707. Wow. Well, we switch over to Aston Villa, and they got bumped from the FA Cup in the third round immediately by Ipswich 1-2. And we already know Liverpool dropped them out of the Carabao Cup semis. But now they do have a pretty nice run all the way to the Europa Conference League final against Fenerbahce, winning out there. Fiorentina, Lille, they've got some teams that they definitely probably had a little bit hard of a time, and they went through pretty nice. So overall, the Conference League is really the best that they've got. I mean, semifinals of the Carabao Cup, okay, you're going up against Liverpool with the same tactic. Fifth place is not bad, but their point tally is a little bit low for them. It was okay. Squad-wise, I mean, they've got about average green. It's a little, I wish they'd get a little bit more, but 17 goals for Zaniolo, 15 for Diaby, assists 17 for John McGinn, 15 for Ramsey, and then assists, Martinez is up there with a 719. And you know, when your goalkeeper gets the tops, yeah, something happened here. Data Hub, yeah, you could see attacking wise, not there at all compared to what we're used to seeing. But defensively, they definitely stepped up quite a bit. But 1.68 goals per game, 0.55 conceded, 0.79 XG against, not bad. Aston Villa, again, attacking side, just not there. They do have some pieces of the defense that are nice and well more than average, but there's some that just aren't. But 1.92 goals per game, a little bit better than Liverpool. 1.13 conceded, 1.32 XG against. The conceded is actually a little bit on average or so. Premier League stats, 2.03 points per game for Liverpool is pretty low. 1.82 for Villa is as well. Most goals, Aston Villa with 73, Liverpool with 64. Fewest shots against, though, Liverpool in second with 249, Aston Villa all the way in eighth with 386. Most possession, 61% for Liverpool, Villa with 58. Most dribbles made, 629 for Villa, Liverpool with 625. Best pass completion, 89% for Aston Villa, Liverpool with 88. And then most shots for Liverpool with 520, Aston Villa with 448. Sometimes when the Premier League sides fail, our championship sides bring it up. How did it work this time? Well, 98 points, not too far off for first and second place. They got through the promotion spots, which is great. The playoffs into the final 2-0 win over Middlesbrough, and they're on to the Premier League next season. Domestically, they were fine. Out in the Carabao Cup third round against Fulham, and then FA Cup third round, we already saw they beat Aston Villa 2-1, getting all the way to the quarterfinals. Fantastic job, just losing out 2-4 to Manchester City. So all in all, they do make it to the Premier League next season. They get through the playoffs, which is hardly ever done with them. But quarterfinals of the FA Cup is a big accomplishment right there. Carabao Cup, whatever. They do have a little bit more green than usual, not a lot, but still, I mean, you'll take what you can get. 19 goals for her, 17 for Connor Chaplin. Wes Burns with 20 assists, Leif Davis only with 14. But George Hurst gets the tops with a 7.26. All over the place in the championship stats, Ipswich in third with 2 flat points per game, most goals in second with 114, fewest shots against in third with 391, most possession in third with 59%, most dribbles made in fourth with 784, most tackles won all the way up in second place with 1121, best pass completion in eighth with 88%, and finally most shots for in fourth with 607. So, taking a look at the tactic itself, it's not as funky of a shape as we've seen in the past, but it's still funky enough that I wanted to try it. Sweeper, keeper, in defend is where we start. Inverted fullback on the left in defend, and inverted wingback on the right in support. Ball playing defenders in defend, with a deep lying playmaker in defend above them, a Mazzala above him in support. Inverted wingers in support that are marking the DR and DLs, their opposite counterparts. The advanced playmaker in attack off to the left side, and then an advanced forward in attack up front. Attacking mentality, in possession attacking with his narrow, approach play is pass into space, focus play down the left and the right, passing directness is shorter, tempo is higher, low crosses and run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, distribute to the back line, and roll it out. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, step up more, and invite crosses. But now overall, how did it do for our 3 teams? It was okay. I mean, it definitely got Ipswich through the playoffs, which is great. I think, as I always say, if you take control of this, you could probably do a little bit better here. Turn some of these draws and losses into wins, get some of those points. Again, you're only 6 points off of Southampton. You're doing pretty well. And again, you're into the Premier League next season. Liverpool and Aston Villa. Now, 4th and 5th is not great. 77 points for Liverpool is definitely lower than what we expect. Again, take control of this. You could probably do better here. This is not quite the attacking tactic that you might want. It's definitely more on the defensive side to it, I guess. I mean, only 64 goals for Liverpool, 73 for Aston Villa. They just didn't jump out of the gate, as a good start. And it really didn't work in the end fully. I mean, they're still both in the Champions League, so don't get that wrong. They did fairly well. It just, we've seen FM loving that attacking style, and it just wasn't here. But if you tried this tactic on your own, please let us know how it worked in the comments below. Otherwise, the save was okay. Yeah, I think it definitely could have been better. You can definitely soup it up a little bit to suit your own taste. But that is it for me, Saving FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.